Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome and welcome back to my channel where we make Bible stories come alive. I'm your host. In today's episode, we are going to talk about one of the most remarkable women of faith I know. A woman after God's own heart. Yes, you guessed it right. We're talking about Deborah, the prophetess and judge of Israel. Do you know that her name, Deborah, means bee or something that is precious? Just like honey, her impact was sweet and sticky. Like honey, she blessed the land she lived in. Like honey, she left a lasting legacy for generations to come. Before we dive into this amazing story, I would like to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here in our family. Also, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to share with your friends, your family, and your neighbor. Judges, chapter 12 verse 11 tells us about Deborah, the wife of Lapidoth, who judged Israel at that time. She was a prophetess and was later called the mother in Israel. That's a mouthful. The Bible says that evil was very rampant in the land. In fact, it says that the Israelites cried out to God because of their oppressors, the Canaanites. So God raised up for them a deliverer, a judge named Deborah, who was also a prophetess. Isn't that amazing? A woman leading a nation at that time, when women were not really allowed to lead. But God doesn't call us according to our gender. He calls us according to His purpose. Deborah chose to live in a place called Ramah, which, by the way, means height or elevated place. And so from this place, she started to do the work of God. This place became famous and known as the place where Deborah, the judge, lived. Judges, chapter 4. Verse 4 tells us about how Deborah sent for an army general. Now, while this might seem like a very masculine role, being an army general, leading an army to war and all, it's important to note that Deborah didn't fight in the wars herself. She was a judge, a leader, a strategist. She sat under a palm tree and basically recruited, trained, and assembled an army. Now, many of us assume that Barak was the leader of this army, but I don't think so. I think Deborah was the leader. She just handed over the leadership role to Barak because he was more qualified to do that. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work. Deborah knew this very well. Verse 6 says, "And he gathered to himself 10,000 men and set out and pitched camp at Mount Tabor." What a beautiful picture we have here of Deborah and Barak working together, strategizing together and doing great exploits for God. Deborah encouraged Barak. Barak led the army. They were an amazing team. Sisera, the commander of the Canaanite army, had no idea what hit him. These men were fierce fighters, and Sisera's army was defeated. In fact, Sisera ran away, but he was later killed by a woman. Isn't that amazing? God works in mysterious ways. Deborah's legacy was so huge that there was even a song composed about her bravery and leadership. Look at how the Bible describes her in Judges chapter 5, verse 7. "The stars from their courses above, the Pleiades and the chambers of Orion, they sang no more. They stared fixed in the heavens from the seats of the mighty." She, yes, she who is mentioned with other male judges in chapters 12 and 20, is called blessed among women. She is highly exalted as the mother in Israel. There are many lessons I can take from Deborah's life, but today I want to talk about 3 things that stood out for me. No, 1. She was a woman of faith. She didn't allow anything to hinder her walk with God. No. 2. She was a woman of courage. She wasn't afraid to step into her purpose despite the opposition. And number 3, she was a woman of wisdom. She knew when to step back and let someone else lead. I pray that as you watch this video, God will grant you the courage to pursue your dreams. If you believe that God has called you to do something, then go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid to fail, because failure is just another excuse to start again and do better. And you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Deborah didn't just succeed once, but she succeeded over and over again. And her legacies lived on through the generations to come. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now. Also, please give us a thumbs up. Until next time, stay amazing.